All right, meeting comes to order. And Dan, can you lead us? Oh, I guess we want to wait for William to get back on some of this.
First two are Williams.
Okay, then let's go to, how about township report review?
That is the township reports that we sent you, which are the, Form 7s, right?
TA7.
TA7s, and we went snooping to see how we did against other townships.
I see that, yeah.
And we were astounded that our largest other large township in the county, for only being 10,000 people less population, doesn't do near the amount of business we do, but has a much bigger overhead. So we wanted you to see that. To know that we are indeed engaged and getting money out the door.
Yes,
And then the other one is Brandon's annual report.
that is, yes, this one is really, really good.
And he's here, he is ready to answer any questions that you may have. Or deflect any questions you may have. I'm really impressed every year. It's taken a while to get it down to this basic. What's the easiest visual format to
Yeah.
understand? And I think it's fairly. And we wanted you to see it, but I'm gonna circulate it as much as possible.
Yeah, I was telling Brandon that it takes me a while when I look at graphs to get in the
Right.
graph mode, you know,
Right.
but this is really a good one. This is good.
And it shows, I mean, the surprising information always is household size, single person. Which is kind of obvious when you think about it, when the average rent is $900. You know, and that's the federal average for us, when you see that, it's hard. That's, your rent is supposed to be 1/3 of your income, which means you'd have to make $2,700 a month. Which, that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
My babe right here, honey, right here.
So that becomes a problem.
Excellent, thank you.
Oh, young lady,
I think you know,
I'm good. Did I see you were becoming betrothed?
I did. I am betrothed now.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I knew you knew her.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm sorry, guys.
congratulations on that.
good to see you.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Yeah.
At my age, it's always good.
Yeah,
This is good to be seen, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Be seen vertically.
Yeah, that's
Easter, everybody.
Oh, there you go. We'll take good care of her.
Reese's.
okay, good. I know you. I won't
Bunnies.
interrupt you.
Reese's bunnies.
Good to see you.
See you after a while.
That's
No chocolate for you.
The household size is one big, is one big shop. It's all, well, it's not a shop, it's just reinforcing your.
Yeah.
And then that again,
Okay, do you want me to sit here? I can sit.
yeah, no, that's fine. The household size is again reinforced in the business we do in the food pantry. Which makes sense if you're paying all your money in rent,
Right,
you can't afford
How
food.
much have you all done in
we
4
just
minutes?
started.
Okay.
We're looking at Brandon's graph.
That goes to Sharon whenever, where Chris is sitting right now.
Oh, it is, oh, you know, when she gets here, I can.
That's fine.
Yep.
We're on grass because William was first on the agenda, but he was indisposed. And age is not counterintuitive, but our big business is in the age bracket 25 to 34. Which I think those are Gen X, are they millennials?
They're millennials.
Yeah.
But Dan, that makes sense, I think.
Does it?
Yeah,
They were,
we have that age graph, age group.
they were the group that came in during the 2008 recession. And they've never been consistently employed.
Right. And with the news we're hearing about Medicaid changes, we can assume that will get worse.
Yeah, and, I was gonna wait, but when we get finished with this, The other one is the education level, and I always want to point that out. The average education level of our clients is,
That one's not in here, it's in the, it's not updated yet.
okay, well, it's still 2 years post high school education is 50%.
50?
50% of our clientele has 2 years of post high school education. Or more. You know, so that kind of, that is.
50% are college attendees.
Correct,
Yeah.
Ivy Tech
Yeah,
or
yeah.
college, and that is counterintuitive, because if you listen, we've got to reach out and get people what the school system and everybody says, is we have a untrained work. Well, I don't think so, you know, 2 years of college is pretty good maturation. Matriculation. So anyway, that report is there,
That's a
and
good one. Thank you, Brandon.
as soon as we get the high school education, or the education in there, we will circulate it. And, you know, we will also probably have something textual with it to point out the ones that really explain a lot more about our clientele and things.
Now, is this available somewhere if the public wants to take a look at this?
It'll be on our website. We haven't put it up yet. We didn't want to put anything up without you guys seeing it first.
Okay.
There's a few more that I added at the end of this month regarding employment and education level. It's just off kilter for the rest of the graphs.
Gotcha.
So I'll add that to the website sometime in May.
Okay.
But we are the only township that, and this is voluntary. And it's on the form, we said this is voluntary, it's non-identifiable. You don't have to do it, and people can give it. They may think that we're not gonna assist them, but, you know, if somebody says, I don't wanna do this, well, next step. And, we find it valuable because, you know, where are we gonna need money? And then following this, you're gonna love this, I'm glad I announced Senate Bill 1. In 2007, the township will be going to the county council to get funds. They will control the budget. They will control the levy
In
completely,
2027, you said.
Is that for all townships or?
all townships. And old dad is bailing out in 2026.
Yeah, that's not gonna be.
And that's not gonna be good around the state. And
Right.
and there's a maximum, it can only be 2% of the maximum of 2% of the overall county levy. And I think we're under that right now. But the next trustee may not be, because we're right at the margin of it. And that's property tax, not income tax. We also monkeyed around severely with income tax. I just haven't been able, it's math. That's the best thing to say about it. And mortgage exemptions, for those of you that have it, is an entirely new formula that will take an accountant to figure out. I cannot do it. I honestly can't. Because Pat and I was just talking about leaving some of our mortgage. So we could keep getting the exemption. That's going away. Unless we know a good real estate consultant. Okay. That's that. And, but we are proud of this other one too, about
Yeah.
comparing us to the other big township. And we, was the next one, we skipped you, and the first item,
About the property sale.
the property.
So we have now ran the ad in the newspaper, we've given notice. And we rescheduled our meeting for today because it hadn't been run, so we
Right.
pushed it back a little bit. It has run now. I ran into Chris yesterday, and so, I think one of the questions now is, to what extent to unleash Chris and his abilities?
And I think before we can talk about getting rid of a shelter, we need to talk about if.
Getting a new one.
Getting a new one, because in my mind, we don't want to get rid of the one we have unless we're gonna be
Right.
able to move on.
Good.
You want just kind of an update or
Yeah,
what would you like? to
Can we do that, Dan?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm sure. I'm getting more nervous every day, not just whether we're gonna have a shelter, but whether we're gonna have a federal government.
Yeah,
agreed.
yeah. Yeah, and barring that disaster, which means we're all up the creek. So right now we've raised about 15 million, we're just a little shy of 15 million. Some of that is federal money, the money that we have raised federally, we're pretty confident is locked in, like it's been allocated already, so it's not in our hands, but it's not subject to budgets or anything, it's already been, I forget the term, but I think allocated is the term, but, and of course, anything can happen, but that's in the hand, that's in Indiana's, it's in Indiana's coffers now, as opposed to federal. So that's good, there's a remaining, probably 5 or 6 million we have to raise. 1 million from a grant called the Federal Home Loan Bank, which we feel pretty confident that that's solid. Another 1 million locally from individual donors and such. Which we expect to finish that up by the end of June. And then the big outstanding thing is federal, what's called new market tax credits. New market tax credits have been supported by bipartisan efforts. The next phase has already been funded in a previous congressional session. So in theory, unless the federal government completely dies, that funding should be there. We won't know that. Typically this cycle is in October. We probably won't, I'm gonna be a little conservative and probably say we won't know until November. Whether that, but that's what that, if that funding doesn't come through, that requires us to do one of two things, shrink the project.
Right.
Or find another way to come up with that $4 million from the tax credits.
So is the project shrinkable? Like, do you have we build up to here and it's this much and then this is what we'd like to build, but we can not do that,
We would have to restructure the foundation.
the whole
So
thing?
it would be a mess, which we really, really don't wanna do. It would probably mean going back to planning. It would be a mess. So we really hope that doesn't happen. So in terms of timing, that's probably a more realistic time frame for us to be sure how we're moving forward. You know, one way we could. Well, there's just a lot, but one option, if the federal money falls apart, is we could just build the day center and the shelter and not mess with the housing side of things. So that in theory would shrink the money we need substantially, but we're not there yet in that position.
No, so we are really guaranteed solidly that the shelter is gonna be made.
I think the time frame is unpredictable and is a little more unpredictable because we really need to lock in those new market tax credits to feel confident in the time frame, which would be starting to build in early 2026. So I think at current, the plan is to do demolition starting in September and then to start doing the construction in 2026. And a lot of that just depends on the new market tax credits, so and what they tell us. We just did get our grading permit, which took a year.
Seriously?
Yeah, on Friday, we got that officially approved last Friday, so that's good. But I wish I could give you more declarative news, but this one big chunk, the new market tax credit is still just sitting out there.
That's like 3 to 4 million, you say?
It's about 4, yeah, it'll be a little 3.9.
And that's the one we'd know about by November
That's,
probably.
yeah, if the cycle works normally and goes a little bit late, November is the right time frame. And we feel pretty confident in that, except for the fact that the world is imploding. And so, but it's a very popular bipartisan supported group. We've got a couple of investors that are showing strong interest. And so, and it's a double, kind of year, so it's double the amount of credits they had the previous year, so in all ways, it's a very positive thing, except for. And I think right now, the biggest fear that people have is not so much that the money won't be there, is that they're, deconstructing the federal government to such a level that they become non-functional.
Correct.
So the grants are still there, but the ability to administer the grants falls apart, and the grant making process and all of that. So I think that's probably the bigger fear. The courts are doing a good job at keeping the Congress's money approvals in place, but what seems to be happening now is this dismantling of the ability to actually make something work. So that would be the bigger fear right now. And again, I don't think any of us knows, what's going to go on there.
And then this is a horrible question, but have you taken all the DEI stuff out so they don't have an excuse to not fund you?
We haven't received a new contract yet related to DEI, and so we will explore that when the time comes, when we start to see a new contract and what it requires of us. We're potentially looking into changing the policy to the liberty and justice for all policy or something like that. Something that they love, but the equal protection clause policy.
Yeah, I thought the equal protection clause was federal law that you had to include in it.
Absolutely.
And that's the thing they're hammering on. It's like we have to post the equal employment opportunity
Right,
information.
right.
Yeah.
And it says everything except gender, that they're suing law firms over. But I do have one question,
Yeah.
and welcome back, Forrest. You
Yeah,
recovered much
thanks.
better. I would still be there on the big pain machine. Don't let me read the news. Don't let me watch.
This is my,
Give me more.
I don't know if this will be in the minutes, but this is my first day wearing real pants.
Oh, right.
And I'm regretting it a little bit, honestly.
Appendix.
Yeah.
He birthed.
Yeah, put that in the minutes, right?
Yeah.
Minutes,
How,
not seconds.
the Indiana funds, I guess I have two questions. The Indiana funds, how much is sitting there?
7 million.
And it comes in one lump or it's gonna be parceled out?
We'll get an upfront amount that will help pay off everything we paid. And then it'll be reimbursement, based from there. So there'll be cash flow challenges, which we'll have a construction loan for.
Do you know what fund that's in? Is that in the home?
It's in two funds. It's Home Art and HTF, the Housing Trust Fund.
Oh, really? That's good.
Yeah, the Housing Trust Fund is Indiana money. So, Home Art is, technically it's Indiana money too, but it's been appropriated from the feds to
The COVID arm?
I have to check. I think it's Home Art. Yeah, so it would be COVID, yeah.
Because that's one of, they're trying to claw back. There's huge, they're trying in California, they're probably trying in red states too hard.
Yeah, I haven't heard, I've been talking to the ICDA higher ups about it and they don't see any concern.
Yeah, they
at
might
present.
not, because
Yeah.
bronze,
Yeah.
not someone they're gonna put in their sights.
Yeah,
And
yeah, so and that money that they're trying to reclaim is quote unquote undesignated money. And this is money that has been designated, so. So that's so I don't feel confident about anything, but I feel as confident as can be given the wildness of the circumstances. But that would be a major, that would be when we just, if that were to occur, it's like, okay, we're not gonna do housing here, we're just gonna do shelter. And we'll go from there.
Did I see something in the paper this morning about the foundation getting like $15 million? Did I see that?
Seven, but yeah.
Seven.
Yeah,
Like gifts, 7 or 6 or whatever it is.
Yeah, 7-2, I think, or something, and it's.
Yeah. And how does that work with you?
It doesn't, in terms of it doesn't come to the center at all. It's over 5 years too, so it's about $1.5 million a year, so. It's, so we'll get some operational support. We won't get any money, but we'll get some staff that will come and work at Beacon, related to the program. But no cash is coming our way. With this, but it's still good, it's just, you know.
Maybe if you didn't check your email, your money would come.
Yeah, right, just stay away from me.
Yeah.
Fred Sanford said, if you don't check your mail, you never get bills.
Exactly.
Put it back in the box.
That's the other option.
Okay, thanks, Forrest.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Forrest.
and I wish I could be more declarative, but that's the precariousness of where we are right now. We would be groundbreaking already, except for the fact that the new market tax credits are taking their time,
It's,
so.
I don't know, I mean, it's a crapshoot, it's like IU getting in the football playoffs, it's just, we've never been here before.
Yeah.
But I have another question. So when you're talking about the shelter part, like I sort of think of your project in like modules.
Yeah,
And so what would be the first module that is going to be built? Would that be
well,
a
in the
shelter?
current plan, it'll all be built together,
Right,
and it's designed, it's one building.
right.
So, and it's designed where the housing's on the second floor, so the bottom floor and top floor are shaped to each other, including the foundation, so if one of those parts gets shrunk, it creates problems with the other parts.
Okay.
So, right now we have a scenario where we could be short about $2 million and just not finish the day center and the shelter. You know, and then raise that money later, so that could occur, but 4 million would be real tough.
Yeah, so I'm thinking that, you know, what to do with the money we get from Rogers Street, and if the shelter was gonna be like the first module that was gonna get built, then that makes it more palatable to sort of be thinking more aggressively about giving you that money, but that's just me, you know, that's just thinking.
I think
We'll know a
my
lot.
knowledge and the bit of construction I've been involved with is you get into the economy of scale, if you start breaking it out to where we do a little bit of construction, a little bit of construction, you don't save any money.
Yeah.
So, and the day center and the shelter
Right, you have to
are,
do the wiring, you have to do the plumbing, and so there's not much they can't not do, except for they can not finish it.
not finish the apartments, you know.
Yeah, like, we could, just not put the drywall in and things like that, and we figured that would save us about $1.5 million to $2 million if we needed to delay. Or fell short, but we couldn't get much shorter than that.
But that's good to know.
Yeah, so we do have a little bit of fundraising flexibility over time. We're also, of course, worried that the prices will suddenly go up pretty substantially, so.
They are going up now.
Yeah, so that's obviously.
I didn't consider that on this
And
project.
you talk about building supplies.
Right.
Yeah.
Black lumber won't even guarantee lumber prices. They said, we'll hold your price for 2 weeks and then,
Yeah,
you know.
Man, that is a crapshoot for every major project in America. I
Yeah.
have not considered that on this
Yeah.
project.
yeah, even just going to bid for that, typically it's a, 60-day kind of, we'll hold this bid for,
Exactly,
and
you're right.
this is a scenario where we don't know if they'll even hold bids like that.
Well, part of this is
Who knows
gonna
what's going
involve
on.
steel beams and You have to order those so far.
Yeah,
in advance.
steel and timber, I think will be real problem.
Have you secured a contractor?
Yeah, we're working with Strausser.
Oh, good,
Yeah, so local
Really good.
contractor.
He did this.
Did he? Yeah, they seem real talented. They did a community foundation and did meadows. So a lot of kind of nonprofits, you know.
Yeah.
And other kind of businesses, so. But we feel confident in them. They were a little more pricey, but. But they come in, you know, they don't overspend and they're local and so.
Yeah, no, they're good.
Navigating the local, it seemed like the local rules and local contractors and the local inspectors and everything, it seemed like that was a good move, that would save money, yeah, that would save money.
Yeah. You wanna hear Chris? Because what he says is hanging on what you said.
Well, I guess
Yeah.
the thought is I think everything's ready to be marketed, it's just actually going to market with it.
May
Go ahead.
I ask, the ad was that we are declaring this surplus, do you want to make a bid or just that we are declaring this surplus?
You know, that if you wanna make a bid, come here today.
Did we get a nibble?
No, I haven't heard.
Well, no, because I think we
Good
were
point,
waiting until the 30 days had run and then we could unleash Chris.
Oh,
Now the 30
okay,
days
okay.
is run
Yeah.
and we moved the meeting back because it didn't get filed.
Okay, I didn't know.
Place. Now it was in there
The one
twice.
Chris was on,
So,
okay.
yeah.
So we've got our price at $475, and we're ready to start marketing. So the challenge is gonna be just the timing on closing, so. I mean, with any luck at all, if someone shows up right away and says they wanna buy it, and then we just have to negotiate a closing date and possession and, you know, when would, Perry Township or the use vacate, you know, and all of that, so. It doesn't bother me not to have that number because you never know what a new buyer may want. They might be completely flexible, they may want it right away, you know, but then we can deal with that on a per case basis and determine if it's the right buyer for us or not. The market is a little slow right now. I mean, with the interest rates up. It seems like the deals that are selling right now, the deals I'm working on are fire sale properties. People are like, I've gotta sell. You know, I'm 2 months behind on my mortgage. You know, it's those.
Get me out of this.
It get me out of this, and so, and I think there are a certain group of buyers that are just watching those, and that's, to be honest with you, those are the deals I'm negotiating. A couple of them are market deals that I'm out there, but it's mainly, it's the deals that people need to get off their books. So, which is not what I would wanna put in this position, so we could get it out there, get it very well known that it's on the market, that it's available. And then we'll just have to watch the market as it goes along and see what buyers might show up to the table, you know, and then we can always adjust if we feel we're too high in price, we can always come down and we can always go up, you know, it doesn't mean that we're stuck on any price, but. If the interest rate would soften a little bit, it would, you know, you keep hearing about the Fed rate, but it doesn't really hit the mortgage rates, directly, so. But and they're saying that our rates are probably gonna be this way through summer. You know, and I'm not sure if they are gonna soften anytime soon, you know. And 7's not a bad rate, it's just so many people have a really low rate, a 3 or a 3.25. And they don't want to. Now, one thing with commercial, those rates have to get renegotiated every 5 years. So unlike residential where you can fix it for 30 years. So there could be some activity. There's always some activity in commercial because they have to step up to the rates at some point in time, so. But I think we're a good price range. I just did another market search for it, and there's not a lot under 500 in the commercial world. So if somebody needs a building, you know,
So, Forrest, how many people average are there on a nightly basis?
38 to
Oh,
40.
that's a lot of people.
Yeah, we're pretty much filling it every night, really close to kind of is.
I guess,
Yeah, Chris. The only thing, I mean, I have one input and we absolutely, however it's set up, we cannot pay penalties.
yes,
That's critical because that's either me or the next trustee comes out of pocket. And I can guarantee I don't have it. Maybe Jack will give me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't count on that.
Susie was both.
What kind of penalties are you talking about?
Any financial penalties incurred by the township are incurred by the trustee.
Any penalties that I could see, well, the only type of penalties that I could see is if you had a mortgage and you had a prepayment penalty, but that's not the case. But I can't imagine any other penalties,
I mean, if we had a hard sell by it, we didn't sell it, with a penalty built into it,
oh, I see, yeah.
that kind of contract.
Yeah, no, it would be 100% up to the board's decision on any contract that we brought to the table. Even if we brought a full price offer and we didn't think it was the right buyer, you don't have to accept it. So I mean, it's true.
Do not get me in a situation where I can't retire in grace.
No, it'll be pretty simple. I mean, I think the challenge is gonna be access and just finding the right buyer for the property. You know, and I mean, you hate it, just kind of this, what it is being used as now, someone, they're comfortable with that, taking their next use to it. And as much as it's just human nature, you've got to overcome that, and someone doesn't feel that there's a stigma on it or anything like that.
Is there a good value to the real estate under it without the building?
That's a question I have to answer quite a bit. The structure itself, I mean, if you look at a price per square foot for the building, and if you just look for the land, there's not enough in the land to compensate for the building being gone. It would really lower the price. I mean, it'd probably put us between 100 and 200,000, but having the building on there, we're able to push the price well into the 400,000, because the value of the structure that there is value. And
I think the assessed value of the land currently is 55.2.
Yeah, I was just wondering, because having seen what's going on over
Yeah.
here with
Yeah.
the approved plan, it's worth a whole lot more.
Yeah, I'm evaluating a lot of properties along 17th right now. Look, I'll be on the Gouldies property, I'm looking at that.
Oh.
Yeah, I know.
They run out of days.
Well, we're close to putting that on the market. It's interesting, and being from Bloomington, which I feel very blessed, I'm working with these 70-year-old companies as they're kind of coming to an end. I've got J&S on the market. I actually worked through Ferris Brothers when they went. I've got, Cafe Pizzeria on the market, so it's these old businesses that where nobody's taking them over. So right now it's just the brothers are working it and they're tired. So we're working through that process. So I just looked at that spot as, what if we tore the buildings down? It's just sold it and the price difference was drastic. So I want to try to find someone that sees the value of the buildings.
Right.
Yeah, so, and that's got a warehouse on it. I mean, I think the buildings can be salvaged, especially working at CFC for 10 years. We made everything, we renovated a lot of buildings, so I can see buildings getting renovated, But I think, as this building, I think it has a lot of potential to it. And I think the big open spaces, and you could break it into two separate spaces. I mean, I think it has a lot of potential.
Yeah, I can visualize vacant land turning into stuff, I just can't visualize remodels.
Yeah, and really, you guys have maintained the building, I mean, the roof, HVAC and, well, yeah, I know, right? And so I don't think it'd be hard for someone to come in there and repurpose that building. Okay. Just finding the right one that wants that location. That's the key.
Right, and the timing of when it would stop being a shelter and
Yeah.
the meeting place, so.
An ideal scenario, for selling it is if it was completely vacant, broom swept, bright lights on, someone could walk in and see their vision. There are people that just, my wife's one of them, can't see through stuff. She just can't, I'm like, can't you see the vision in this? And she's like, and there's people that just can't see through things. And that's where, sometimes a building that's just completely vacant, bright lights, that you can walk through and then they can envision their use in there. That's gonna be a little bit of a challenge as we walk people through there to not get distracted by the operations. They've gotta look at, and I'll do my best to get them to oversee that, hey, let's look at this.
Mhm.
What's the potential, what's your use, here's what I'm envisioning, so there's a little bit more salesmanship, trying to overcome some of that, cause some people have never been in a shelter like that. before.
Yeah.
So if I walk a new buyer through, like, they don't know what to expect, and they might get taken in by the operations more than. That my goal is, the job is to keep them on task and focused on, hey, we're here to buy a building,
Right.
this use will not be here anymore, this is gonna be your use, so. That's gonna be a little bit of a challenge, and we'll just see as I pick people through. And I'm assuming access, I just go through Brandon and probably Brandon and I will be walking people through there. Or you can just give me a key, or however you wanna do it, or I can meet the director that you have down there too. just to do it.
Talk to Lindsay or Connor and probably me and you and one of them too.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, anything before 5 o'clock is probably generally gonna be fine. But
it doesn't open until 5, is that right?
Yeah, 5:15 is the opening, but they start getting prepped around 5.
Okay.
And there'll be people, hanging out around outside, starting around then too, so.
Yeah, is it first come, first served? Is that what it is?
Well, most people have a bed already locked in, but then then the remaining beds tend to be, more challenging. It's not exactly first come, first served, but
Yeah.
but like Monroe County residents get first priority.
A lot of them with beds have nowhere else to go, so
Yeah,
we drove by 2 nights ago, and I believe it was around 5 o'clock, and there were people outside.
Sounds right.
And Pat said the same thing, is that first come, first served, no, I remember telling people who just don't have anywhere to go, they wanna leave their stuff and go to the community kitchen.
how early before they really start lining up? I mean, ideally, would it be before 4 o'clock?
Probably,
Yeah,
ideally a visit. Yeah.
because again, I don't want to distract a buyer by
4:30,
Activity,
4:30 is when people
Yeah.
start to.
Between 9 and 4.
9 and 4, that's what I'll do,
Yeah,
yeah,
makes a lot of sense.
yeah.
Yeah, I would just give me like, if you can,
Yeah,
24 to 48 hours.
yeah. And usually that's, in commercial, that's pretty easy to do. I'm booking appointments to show property like a week and a half out sometimes, so just people have to get their schedules together, so. We should be able to have plenty of notice. Great. And the minute you guys give the green light, we'll get, what we can do, obviously we'll avoid signage, but we can get it entered into all the commercial MLSs. We can get, our marketing materials together, it can go out to our databases. You just make it aware that, and then when brokers do searches, it'll see it come up in their searches. If buyers do searches online, they should be able to see it.
So you wanna avoid signage because it's not to raise alarm?
Well, it's up to you guys. Now, signage sells. I mean,
I thought one time you said that maybe it's a good idea.
I always think, because it's interesting, signage. One of my close friends and competitors, and we teach together at Kelly School, Dave Harstead, he doesn't like to use signs. But Irish Line sold because I put a sign up. It was on the market for 5 years.
Wow.
And then I put a sign up and Carl Cook walked by.
Mm.
And he's like, oh, I didn't know that was on the market. He's on my mailing list, so he should have known. But it sold, I mean, literally that week that we put a sign up. And sometimes people will drive by a sign for 3 months and just try to think of what use they could use it for. And then finally they pull the trigger. Or sometimes they drive by it for 3 months and then all of a sudden notice the sign. It's interesting, I get a lot of calls from, I believe heavily in signage, but again, I don't want to alarm your guests or alarm. What do you think, Forrest, as the operator there?
I mean, I think we can manage it. Obviously, some people are gonna be like, what is going on? And we'll have to and there's always new guests that come in and worry, but it's a small enough group, I think, that after one initial nervous thing that will, have to deal, be fine. I'll talk to the staff about it to make sure, but that's my sense.
Well, and you have a positive, outlook too. Well, we're building a new facility.
That would be, this is not gonna be sold until we have a new place for people.
So if you did approve a sign, I'd love to put one. But again, I want to be sensitive to it as well.
Yeah.
We could do it without it, but obviously having a sign up does not hurt.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a very heavily traveled road too, so.
So what I would be comfortable with Forest needs a letter from us that I've been holding off until we can come up with something firm, is a motion from you to proceed, because we have to agree, to proceed with the contingencies that funding or that redesign, whichever one, we go on that timeline, that it be finalized, the sale be finalized after the funding and the construction is complete. And that Chris understand that going into the marketing, that we cannot turn loose of it until then. And so that he knows to be able to tell his potential buyers that it's in flux right now. Federal government,
We're talking about, I mean, it's definitely gonna be 2027. Right now, it's gonna be early 2027, but it's still a long ways off, so
Right.
that's a decision point for you all, I guess, I don't know what you're thinking about in terms of maybe another market now versus later, but it is a long time frame.
I'd
Probably
say,
something I do.
well, I mean, if we wait and there's a new trustee in 2027, then that means nothing is ironclad. I mean, I'm not real keen on legislating from the grave, but the process itself will bleed into 2027 now. So if you just start at the beginning of 2027, it's not gonna be a quick process.
Yeah, I wouldn't suggest that, that would be pretty late in the game.
So I would say proceed now. This is 25, and I don't know your all's plans, but by 26, we might be ready to finalize it. If everything went just according to Hoyle, 27 might be long distance, it might be actually starting quicker. If everything went like it was supposed to 6 months ago.
Could we start the process without a sign?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And we could go along and then we could always I could see to Forrest's point, because I'm gonna have to sell to someone that you won't be able to get possession until early 2027.
Right.
And we could, at least, and we can always put a sign up, early 2026. So after the first of the year, early spring, a sign could go up. We could get it out there, knowing it's gonna be, finding a buyer that has the patience to wait that long, it's gonna be hard.
Yeah.
But it'll be out there, but as the date starts to come along, it's gonna be, to Dan's point, people are gonna know it's available. And then that date it's gonna get closer to the time that they get possession of the property. And who knows, somebody might just, might have an interest just to say, hey, I'll go ahead and just take this off the hand so, it would be some guaranteed money towards the project. It might be a friend of Beacon that steps in and wants to buy it,
Exactly.
And as you said, sometimes people think,
Yeah,
and oh, yeah, I know what they can do.
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
I would just, I wanted, if our money is a match, or a promise of money is a match, then I'd like to get that out there.
Mhm.
But with that contingency that all things being equal,
Also, with all that Hopewell building starting,
Yeah.
who knows, that'll change the neighborhood quite a bit.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
they've finished a lot of that construction on First Street, it looks good.
It does look good,
Yeah, it looks a lot. I manage a building back in there, and it was rough there for a little bit.
Yeah.
and a new police station.
Yeah, in that building that you were suggesting for a shelter,
Oh, which one was that?
First and, Rogers, right?
The one that was the old mental health,
Yes.
Yeah.
that's
I
gonna
think
be the police station?
I think so.
No,
Four
no,
story,
We talking
I
about
think
the
it's
same
4 story.
Yeah.
Yeah, that big 4-story building.
Oh, it's the old
right
convalescent center.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
that's gonna be. the
Okay,
new
I've been
police
so
station.
buried doing deals, I
I'm
had been.
surprised you didn't hear
I
about.
will, I had not yet, I actually just got off planning commission.
Uh-huh.
I just resigned from that. I was accepted to Georgetown's Masters in Real Estate program, which I'm gonna do hybrid. So I've been clearing my evening
Wow.
schedules. Yeah, Pretty cool. I was pretty happy. They're third in the country for real estate programs and,
Congrats.
thank you. IU was wanting me to get a master's and I'm in my mid-50s. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna do this.
I did it.
I did,
It's hard.
well, thank you. I start classes here pretty soon.
Masters are hard.
Yeah, well, I thought, why not? Well, I'll just go ahead. And plus I'm pretty excited. They've been really great, actually. Georgetown has one, so.
That's
I was
awesome.
pretty excited about that. So I was clearing my evening schedules so I could, because I'll probably be taking classes at night on Zoom and
Yeah.
however they do it, yeah, so.
Cool.
They better appoint somebody fast on that committee.
Well, they had asked, you know, I hold an R on there and they'd asked for an
Yeah.
R and I don't know who
Yeah.
in this crazy environment I'd ever recommend. Cause you know, you want somebody somewhat reasonable and not agenda driven and all that, so Carrie reached out to me and asked me who I recommend, I don't get to recommend. I mean, to be honest, most R's are like crazy.
I think the common at Hopewell is having a ribbon cutting
So.
in the next couple of weekends.
Is it?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
The commons apparently is done. It's finished.
Yeah.
I know the pickleball courts are being used
Yeah,
currently. and-
people love their pickleball.
Yeah.
Oh, they do, man.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, do you have any other questions for me? I don't wanna dominate your meeting or anything, and.
I think I've already made my suggestion and, you know, it's up to the board what they would like.
I like the idea, I think it was Barb's about the signage, we could start without,
Okay,
and then add that later.
Yes.
I think also the township probably will be getting a little bit of pushback on this when word gets out, like, why are you guys getting rid of this shelter,
yeah.
But the reason is very good, I mean, the people have got to know this.
Yes,
We're just not closing a shelter, bang, and that's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you get the message out that
Yeah.
we're investing in
Yeah.
a new place, I think
Yeah,
that'll soften any concerns about that.
I mean, you know, obviously, they're in that area there too, I mean, knowing that it's gonna get centralized, you know, brand new facility. It won't hurt the area, I mean, unfortunately, it gets a stigma a little bit in that area.
Yeah.
But that's, I have a McDowell building on the market right now, and I get a lot of comments that, you know, that I'm trying to sell it to, that people from out of town, they're, you know, the homeless activity, you know, it's caused. But I think by going to, you know, bringing $15 to $17 million to our community to help our homeless, is pretty cool. you know,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but,
It's a very good, you know, people don't think about it, but it's a good attractive for commercial development because corporations want to see that the community is doing something. A lot of corporations want their executives or the mid-level people to have that opportunity for sort of community commitment.
yeah,
Like Cook wants their people to be involved.
yeah,
And they won't really go to a community that doesn't have an active social service thing.
yeah,
And so not having something, and we don't ever think about that, but that's the way it was about 12, 14 years ago when Catalan or Boston Scientific, that group, because I went to presentations that were made for them in the mayor's office. And I was, wow, I never knew this happened, but it sold. They
yeah,
came.
no, absolutely.
so what do we need to do as a board
Okay.
today?
So we need to make a motion, Dan.
Yes,
Let's,
contingent on adherence to the timing of the grants coming through and the sign not going up immediately and letting Chris proceed with the advertising.
right, starting the process.
Yeah.
Okay, so, so move,
And I'll second that.
and all in favor?
Aye.
I didn't hear the movie.
To get started with our process.
Sure,
Okay,
okay.
Good.
Yeah,
Well, good. Well, I look forward to it. I'll get started and I'll keep you posted. Brian and I will work together on it and if you guys have any questions at all for me, just let me know.
Mhm.
But I'll send out, once we get some marketing together, I'll send it out to you, Brandon, you can share it with people. So, and if you see anything on our marketing at any time that you say, hey, can you change this? We're wide open. I mean, we can make edits or whatever. If you feel it's misrepresenting something, let us know. And we're happy to make any of those changes.
oh, well, thank you.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, let's move on.
Yeah, great, thanks, guys.
Um,
They're not available.
See you.
The Area 10 contract update.
That
So,
got sent to you, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
so,
Bye, see you. Hey, Forrest, I'll get you. You got an email to me or a call? I can respond.
Area 10, Brandon?
Okay, great.
yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
look forward to
So
talking. See you.
I think you all got that in the mail. I hope you did. It was a little bit late in getting to you. I apologize. I sat on a couple occasions, a phone call. I didn't sit literally with Susan Chambers, housing person at Area 10. And we went over this, the document, sort of upgraded it, sort of reflects in there that this is an upgrade and of this contract from what the 2008 one was. I wanted to sort of point out, let's see, y'all forgive me a little bit, I'm not feeling well today, but I'm
Need one of these?
trying to sort of think, there was the one concern that we had about, when we had to start paying for, maintenance needs, and we upped that from $150 to, $300.
Right.
There was something, and I forgot exactly, it was about the snow shoveling, which I think, I'm not sure it's totally in there just yet. It doesn't really reflect the new.
It is, I believe it's on page 3.
If it is, yeah.
Near the
Yeah,
bottom
so,
of
yeah.
23.
So let's see, Perry will pay for the cost of snow removal from the parking lot up to, so that is there. I
Yeah,
think we talked about that the last time, $150 per plow.
yes.
That's the current agreement with the new person that they have. And I met him over there and, he, you never can sort of believe everything you hear, but he said that, his general style of doing things is not just to do the plowing, but to go through with, people's cars and get snow from between people's cars. I tended to believe him, and so she did too, so, I think I would hold it to him at some point, but it's not in the writing, it's just $150 per plow,
And that's
both sides.
right with it, but you don't always get the same contractor.
Oh, I see, yeah, if this contractor backed out, I guess we would have to go ahead
And that's, so having a cap,
Mhm.
something definitional about how many times. Because the way we got into this was they wanted to call back and call back,
Mhm.
and we said no.
Yes,
So having that defined or having a cap, and I know it says we approve of the terms of the plowing contract. But so they know going in, you just cannot keep calling them back.
Mhm.
And however we wanna do that wording,
Okay.
some contractors won't go in with the cars in the parking lot.
Mhm.
Or they will go in, as we discussed, and go behind them and just plow them in,
Mhm.
which is traditional. And that's what they were complaining about. So
Yeah.
we still have to resolve that issue.
Okay,
What's that mean?
fair enough. And, a lot of this got redone because of, there's two things that happened, as I recall, there was this serious snow that we had, and then there was the serious mismanagement of that apartment.
Uh-huh.
And so, in here somewhere, and once again, I apologize, is this idea that they will be inspecting apartments by walkthrough when they do quarterly inspections of the air filter. They will also do, visual inspections of the apartment, which had that taken place this time, we would have seen the damage that was being done to that one apartment. It didn't take much to go in and see it was being damaged.
Right, and that is in here.
Yes, let me see, I can put you on it, I'm so sorry.
Page 3, 6.1.
6.1,
Yes,
assuring that apartments are well maintained, including quarterly inspections of each of the 12 units. Said inspection shall take place when HVAC filters are replaced. And I guess, now that I read it, I could expand that a little bit more, what that's going to include, which when, I did stuff with the housing authority, you always wanna check areas where there's water. You wanna check the bathroom, you wanna check the kitchen, you wanna check wherever there's water. And I think maybe I can
Under the
expand.
cabinets
Under
for
cabinets.
mold.
Yeah.
Should there be something in there about if they find something, they need to notify Perry Township?
Very good, I can add that. Yeah, the cabinets from mold, that's what happened.
Because you can't believe that much damage happened in just
Yeah,
a month or
right,
two.
right, and it wasn't, it took place over
It
time.
takes a while for mold to grow.
Yeah.
Especially to the extent that this one had. So those are sort of the big changes we put in here. I think if we had time to go over it clause by clause, you see that I put some other things in here, but that are much smaller. I just sort of updated the language, checked the code, a couple other smaller things, but if you see anything, like I said before, next meeting or the next couple of weeks, then please just let Brendan know or let me know and we'll get those things.
Yeah, I got one, the insurance. A
What page are
million,
you on?
well, I'm looking
Toward
for,
the end.
Yeah.
Insurance is toward the end.
it's because I deal with
Yeah,
insurance.
Page 4, chapter 7.
7, 2, $1, $1 million per incident, 2 million for total incident,
Okay,
individual and incident. That needs to be tied to units, because incident could be a fire that burns 3 units. And 10 people in those units, or it could be burn 1 unit and 2 people. And so somehow we need to make,
Okay.
you understand what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
Good
well,
point,
I think I do, yeah.
A bigger incident is possible than just like here, one person falling is one person falling.
Right, okay. All right, I think I got it.
If it involves more than 1 unit, it's gonna involve more people.
Okay,
I think this covers a lot. I started highlighting what I thought were the really important things that stood out, and this one page is all yellow, the whole thing.
you wanna give that to me before when I leave, or you want me to take that, or?
I need a copy of
Changes,
it,
were they?
but no, I don't know that they were changed,
Oh,
they're
okay,
not, no.
okay.
If you would just make a note, because we need to go check, we haven't had time to go do the walkthrough. We need to find out about the smoke detectors.
Okay.
I'm gonna email
No,
Susan
none of
about
them.
that.
I thought it was hardwired. We had
They're
that,
not. They're not hardboard.
We're not sure yet. I'm gonna email the manager.
Oh,
because we had it done in the 21st century, and I'm pretty sure when we had it remodeled, it was in the era of apartments must be hardwired with,
I'm sorry, I didn't think of that too.
well, but see, I can't remember it. However, I'm still trying to remember everything that happened.
Oh, I don't know what can would say,
Yeah.
I don't know when they would say you have to hardwire this. I don't know what kind of remodeling that you do, and they would say, well, this is when you have to do hardwiring.
We,
I'm not sure, or if they can.
we did rewiring in there, and we did replumbing.
Okay,
It was that big project where everything was gutted out. New flooring, new walls in places. It was a big, I think we spent $400,000 in there. It was, and we already owned the buildings. It was pretty expensive, so I'm real sure we had to hardwire smoke detectors then. But I'm real sure about a lot of things that never happened.
So in 7.2, are you saying that it should just be like $1 million per incident and stop there?
No, it should be more because we may have bigger incidents.
Okay.
This started out at 1 million, 2 million for our for our lessers, and then we got Mother Hubbard's covered here. And we suddenly had 100 people out in the parking lot, and we had people ripping into the parking lot at high speeds. And we realized 1 million, 2 million might not cover it. So we bumped them up to 2 million, 4 million, and this is 15 years ago.
But at the same time frame.
Yeah, and when the clothing store, my sister's closet came, we kept them at 2 million, 4 million, because they had customers coming in and going out.
Is it 2 and 4 now?
I think New Life is at 1 and 2 because they're low volume. Area 10, I think, was at 2 and 4
Okay.
because they were older, more frail.
Okay, I'll check. We'll do that. I'll get to that.
On page 2, I'm supposed to let you know,
Okay.
since Sharon's not here, she doesn't like the word exclusive in 5.1.
Okay. Okay, very good. I'll come up with something. Did she have a suggestion or, just
No.
scratch it?
She didn't like it.
Okay. and when I was going through this for area 10, I see things that just, that, where, if something happens that needs to be repaired, who tells you that?
Who did they go to?
Because nobody lives there that oversees now, do they?
No, they don't,
Can't?
but the guy who is their part-time on-site manager, he's a resident there, he lives there. And that's the arrangement right now, it's not a person designated specifically for that, like a superintendent. But there's a guy that lives there who apparently has done it for years, and now we're just trying to write the agreement to match that situation. And I guess that will change when and if something would ever happen to him, it will change, but that seems to be the model they're using now. Not reserving one apartment just for a manager, but this guy who's there. And I didn't really object to it or whatever, I just listened to
Well,
what she
you know,
was.
after we saw the pictures of
Yeah,
some of the apartments,
sure.
I don't know, well, I do know how it can get as bad as they are, but
Mhm.
somebody should be overseeing that and say, hey, this needs to be fixed, or this needs to be repaired, this needs to,
Mhm.
but when you see those pictures, somebody
he's
didn't
already
let
got
the
that.
township know that our area
It's
did.
already in
Yeah,
here.
but you know what, I take, and this is good, I think I should put in there that when they do these inspections, that they have a standard checklist of things that they're checking.
Yes.
That would be really good,
Uh-huh.
but doesn't 5.1.1 address that, or
5.1,
about the live-in on-site management?
well, 5.1?
5.1.1,
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Reimbursement of a part-time on-site manager, and I thought it was in here somewhere else, I'll go back over, but yeah, that's the model that they're using now, and they've had success, I think, and satisfaction with this guy for a few years, so they've wanted to go ahead and, you know, bend the agreement in the direction of that kind of model.
5.2 refers to him to making an apartment available for him, or it doesn't matter, it doesn't even have to be a handyman, it just needs to be someone that,
Right,
hey, I burned my cabinet up last night.
well, he needs to know, he or she needs to know what their responsibilities are. 'Cause if
Okay,
he's done it for years, he obviously,
and he has a phone and he's available, I mean.
right, but he obviously didn't tell anybody about the wreck of that one.
No.
part.
And they need to write that down, what that person does,
Okay.
Right,
and it used to be written down.
Okay. Good, good. Yeah, I agree.
But that's, I think. We have the maintenance expenses, $300 is in there twice. And, oh, on the, police call, on the assaults. If there are assaults, even though we're indemnified. If there are assaults, mayhem, murder, I would kind of like it that we're notified. Because that would be something where I would call you, just to put you on our aware that, because we're actually the deep pocket. And if somebody gets an attorney, although I don't know if someone would, still something that we need to know, you know, we may.
Absolutely, I have
There may
noticed
be a
that.
liability, so a notification if there's a criminal, you know, a liability, criminal action.
Potential. I got that,
On page 3,
yes,
for discrimination,
yes.
do you want to add age in there?
should we even have anything like that in there?
Tenants shall not be discriminated against?
Well, they're all older white people now, so maybe if we ever diversify, we might want to,
Oh my goodness, this
They-
is so awful.
As long as we're in the equal employment language, which comes from the Equal Opportunity Act, we always go, we're just following federal law.
Yeah, that hasn't been banned yet.
Area
Maybe
10's
that's
the one that's
tomorrow.
gotta worry about it. You know, although eventually they may work their way down
I
to.
think we're not saying we're gonna hold this many apartments for these kinds of people, we're
Yeah.
just saying that we're not gonna discriminate for potential tenants.
Yeah, we can always put, we won't discriminate for or against white folks either.
Or Republican.
Oh, yeah, and political leaning.
Yeah. All right,
All right, I think I've done my bit.
anybody else have anything? All right, I'm good with that. We'll get that done and have that sent out as soon as possible. I've got a big, jury trial next week. A guy I represent who was paraplegic, he was in a nursing home and they thought he had pot, but he didn't have pot. And the police came to his room and they want to search his room. And the policeman on the way in says to the people at the front desk, well, all I can do is ask him if he has pot. And he says, no, I gotta leave. And so the guy says, no, and I fucking hate police, but no, I don't have any pot. And so the police stay and they start to talk to him
Oh,
for
my
like
God.
20 minutes. And then finally a third policeman comes and they do a big rush on, so in the meantime, this guy takes this box that's there and he grabs it. And he knows there's no pot in it, but he grabs it and he makes it like their target. So they're like, just give us the box, just give us the box, just give us the box. He's no. And finally a third policeman comes, these big burly guys, and they rush this guy. And they take the box out of his hand, they knock him on the floor. And somewhere in that process, he pushed back and sort of self-defense. And so they have charged him with battery on a public safety official. So we have this big trial, it's a little bit like Alice's Restaurant, you know, we have this big jury trial about this guy. So I've got that next week, so I'm really looking forward to that, and that's in Vincennes.
Oh, man, I'd like to go to something like that.
Yeah. So
Bland potatoes.
I've got another international, you all met Mr. Sy the last time, I have another international law student in my office named Alejandro, he's gonna be my table assistant. So this is good.
That's a
That's going to
terrible
be interesting.
story.
Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. I've got the closing argument all planned, we've got these things, and it shouldn't be a long trial. But there's a video, and you can see when they go down to his room, the police officers are talking on the body cam. Do you smell pot? And they said, no, I don't smell anything. You know, I don't smell anything. And the guy had been asleep in bed for 2 hours already by the time they get there. And so when I filed the discrimination action in federal court, because this is the criminal action, once we win this, and we have a very, very good chance to win in federal court, first thing judge asks is both sides give their account of what happened. So after the other side gave their account of what the police did, the judge of course asked, well, why didn't you get a warrant? Why didn't you just go get a warrant, right? You know, the guy's not gonna run away. And he's
Right.
not gonna be able to get rid of the evidence. And he said, well, what did they find? They said, they didn't find anything. So the judge is asking these questions, right? There's certain situations when you can do warrantless searches, and this definitely is not one of them. So we'll see how it goes.
Oh, my God.
Speaking of closing argument, I just finished watching a trial on TV.
Yeah,
The prosecutor's closing arguments lasted 3 days.
oh my.
3 days. The defense lasted 2.
And what?
The Cemetery court murder case that happened back in 2016.
I was gonna,
It was an incredible trial.
What
The
state?
trial lasted 40 days,
what state's this in?
Los Angeles, but 3 days of closing arguments. They had witnesses galore, and they rehashed everything. It was just,
That's like one of the attorneys that closed in O.J. Simpson case, he had one of those, updated on.
When I was on the utility service board, the consent decree was coming through, they brought in a consultant to tell us how you ran a public meeting in controversial things, how you absorbed information. And the consultant's consensus was anything over 2 hours, your mind will not take anymore.
Yeah.
It starts throwing things out.
And now I bet it's even less,
Yeah,
it is for
lesser
me,
time.
you-
like 22 minutes.
It has to do with your capability or your short-term memory,
Yeah.
you know, that's why we take notes in
Yeah.
college. Your brain starts throwing things out to put new things in.
William, I think this is good.
If there was something else I was supposed to cover, something that came to my mind, was 3 things, there was the property, and there was the contract, and there was, oh my God, Okay, that's fine.
You
It seemed
can
like
do
there was
that.
something else you and I
You
talked
can be
about.
like me or.
Okay, so we talked about Brandon took care of the FOIA request. So I think. we
Freedom of
said-
information, oh,
Yeah.
we're getting, yeah, go ahead.
So Dan and Brandon, they received FOIA requests for really exacting information pertaining to the vendors that the township uses, which is really quite an onerous request. And the requester was a sort of robotic appearing person, a young person, and it was under the Freedom of Information Act. And so they got that one, and I think all of us were very suspect about it as a sort of Doge kind of thing. And then we got, I think, then another one came in and they sort of looked very similar and made it look like it was just a sort of a attack of the robots on us. And then no other township got these requests, so it started to feel selective in a negative way. So Dan and Brandon decided to just go ahead and give them the information, and nothing's been heard from them. My intern, Mr. Sy, who was here the last time, he's very computer savvy. He said he didn't think it was a real thing. He didn't think it was real. I mean, he went into it and took it to like 4 layers into some identification process. And so he was very suspicious.
Wow.
We've always complied with sunshine law. We've always been meticulously in compliance. And the first one was for the name of every vendor and purchase. 2022 to the present,
Yeah, I think so.
which may or may not have been something we were supposed to give. And wait a minute, you know, it's gotta be specific. We know that, and we were gonna drag our feet. What we ended up doing was sending them the URL of our annual report, Gateway in Indianapolis, with a nice little letter saying, while you're fishing for information, there's 1,007 other reports up there just. that
Have
say,
at it, yeah.
Have at it. And the first one, well, thank you very much, you know. The second one, we haven't sent anything yet, have we?
No, we've told them we're compiling information.
And, but, you know, William contacted the state open door counselor about what do you do when we start getting AI requests, because AI can sit there and do it 100 times a day and they're a different name and address, email, because you can file them electronically.
And the 2 requests look like that. They look like almost identical, except one was a male, and the other was a female.
And
So, and I wrote back to the first one when they sent, I sent a letter that sort of asked, what do you need, tried to be polite, maybe even pushed him away. And, you know, it's just so wild what AI can do now. Yeah, one of my clients came in and she was telling me the other day that AI, she asked AI, I don't have dinner for my 2 kids, 8 and 10, and they like to have hamburgers. What's another alternative? And then, you know, and he comes back,
there you
well,
go.
serve them, whatever, you know, just
Yeah.
these sort of like real, inane, questions. So it's wild. It just
Yeah,
does
it is.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't really started using it yet, but I'm tempted.
Okay, let's keep
That's-
moving.
Okay, oh, I thought we were.
I think that's it.
No, it's foundation.
Oh, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
yeah, the foundation.
Sorry.
2 estimates. I tried to get a third guy met me. He did not want to do it.
On the foundation up here.
Foundation, because we're gonna
Yeah.
leakage in the office.
Yeah,
So we got one from Clark Landscaping and one from Onsite Services.
right.
Onsite Services, I've only emailed this guy. I don't know if he ever stopped by to look at the problem or anything. I've only emailed him. Clark met me, talked to me, measured stuff. I've seen him in person. He, talked to me about the concerns that our, the engineer plan had. He has some concerns about it, but he did submit this estimate. I think 116.9, that's Clark. Total for onsite, it looks like 20 something. If you add up,
Or you have to add all these different,
add all
Those are
3 of
3
these.
different,
so he gave you this estimate without even looking at the
As
project?
far as I know, he didn't come here. He didn't come here while I was here. He never asked for me.
That's interesting.
He
Yeah.
looked at the engineers.
Yeah,
Dramatic, I guess,
Yeah, it is.
or Reddit.
And the third guy didn't respond, period.
The third guy came, looked at it, didn't.
Wasn't interested.
It wasn't.
Did he tell you why?
It was a lot of concrete pouring and, shaping.
Uh-huh.
His company didn't like to do that much of that.
Okay. Okay.
I say Clark. Clark is down on Ketchum Road. It's also Clark Propane, or Clark Propane's really an old company.
So do we need a motion on this?
Just your recommendation. It's.
Yeah, we'll just go with your recommendation.
Okay. I'll call for it.
Yeah.
Well, Brandon's recommendation, not him. Now I'm done.
Yeah.
All right, well, y'all forgive me, I gotta keep on rolling, and I broke my glasses, I gotta go get another pair at the dollar store, so.
Hey, William, did you see on Facebook our little next door neighbor dancing to your radio show?
Where do you live? I'm not sure.
Oh,
if I saw
sorry,
it.
Steve Hennefeld and Teresa Malone, and they have like a little 1-year-old.
Oh, yeah,
Did you
yeah,
see
she sent
that?
that to me, yeah, that was great, yeah, that was cute.
He was on a chair.
Steve and Teresa are your neighbor?
Yeah,
I did not know that. I knew they were over in there, but I've never been to their.
yeah,
house.
they're our next door neighbors.
And I've never met them, we just are Facebook friends in the
Oh,
same
okay.
groups, we sort of pop up. our
Well,
names.
Mateo is their little grandson. They keep charge of him a lot, and he was really loving your show.
All right, then, all ages are welcome.
That's right.
Okay. William, I need to send you a legal file.
Oh, yes, the meeting is adjourned.
Okay, all right, I'll look forward
One
to it.
that I